KV Dhananjay, senior advocate, joins us on the broadcast. Mr. Dhananjay, how are you looking at the developments that are coming out of the Gujarat High Court? We've been discussing how in the last 50, 60 years there hasn't been a 2-year imprisonment, that kind of a conviction vis-a-vis a criminal defamation case. KV Dhananjay, also, throw some light on how you're looking at the court's observations, where they're saying that this is a person who's a stalwart of a political party. He's been the secretary. He's been at the helm of affairs of the Congress party. He should have been more careful in what he said. But first and foremost, your initial thoughts.
I'm surprised, but I've been surprised since Rahul Gandhi was convicted by a trial court because I myself practice on the side of defamation. There are a couple of defamation suits.
Well, Mr. Dhananjay, I'm going to have to cut you short over here. A former law minister, his reaction. Let's cut right across.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट देश की भावना का और कानून का सही संज्ञान लेते हुए इस पर अपना निर्णय देंगे, मगर क्योंकि न्यायपालिका का फैसला हम सब पर बाध्य है, इसलिए हमें सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले का इंतजार करना होगा. Well, it is very difficult for me to comment on the validity of the judgment of the Gujarat High Court, but I have no doubt that its justification will be and should be tested in the Supreme Court. The decision to unseat Mr. Rahul Gandhi was a very unfortunate decision. The conscience of the nation has rejected that view, and I have no doubt that the Supreme Court, taking cognizance of the true intent of the law and of national sensitivities and constitutional sensitivities, will decide in its wisdom the way it will decide. There is no doubt that this decision will be challenged in appeal, and hopefully the decision of the Gujarat High Court will be reversed.
The former law minister Ashwini Kumar, he's also of the opinion that Supreme Court seems to be like a better option. Going back to Advocate Dhananjay, sir, sorry for cutting you short there. Also, now we know what Ashwini Kumar had to say. Throw some light on what's your take on what the former law minister said.
Well, I've been surprised since the judgment conviction passed by the trial court. I practice also on the side of defamation. I'm in fact handling suits worth hundreds of crores of rupees. And I can tell you that whatever is happening in this country in the name of defamation is sheer nonsense and complete rubbish. With due respect to the courts and the judges who've been dealing with this case and who've been ruling against Mr. Rahul Gandhi, I have nothing to do with the Congress party. So this is complete nonsense and thorough rubbish and nothing else. To start with, Mr. Rahul Gandhi in Kolar, in an electoral speech, mocked Mr. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, and then he took the case of Nirav Modi and the other, I love Mr. Lalit Modi, both of whom are fugitives and absconders. Right. And then he says, why are these people's surnames Modi? That's it. Now, the meaning of there will be the meaning that the courts will have to allow Mr. Rahul Gandhi to give. That is not what happened here. Some person who did not even claim that Mr. Rahul Gandhi knew him personally, who goes before a trial court in Surat and says that, look, what in fact was said is against the entire Modi community. And because he happens to be a member of the Modi community, he wants Mr. Rahul Gandhi to be punished and convicted. I mean, this is sheer rubbish. For the simple reason that we don't have something like a class defamation to start with, because defamation always looks at the perspective of a right-thinking individual. Now, Mr. Purnesh Modi is in fact, has in his mind a complete idiot. Now, it's only a complete idiot that would say, before Mr. Rahul Gandhi's statements, I used to have respect for people carrying surname Modi. And after Mr. Rahul Gandhi said what he said, I have no longer any respect and I don't want to associate with them. That's not what a right-thinking person or a reasonable person would be thinking. That's what a complete idiot thinks. Now, unfortunately, in this country, I just don't understand what's wrong with our courts. I mean, what kind of logic, what kind of legal reasoning do they adopt? There is no legal reasoning worth the name. Now, it's a travesty that a court thought it fit to punish someone or rather convict someone for someone as frivolous as this. But then, after having convicted, look at the sentencing. The sentencing is 2 years. Now, that's so rare. It's impossible to state with certainty that no one's been convicted for 2 years on a case of criminal defamation because the record keeping in this country is not that satisfactory. And I can also tell you another thing. which is after this conviction in Karnataka, there is a popular Kannada news channel. The editor of that was also convicted under criminal defamation on a different set of facts, and he was sentenced to 2 years. So it's impossible to say that this is a sole instance, but it's fair to say that this is rare, so rare that it should raise your eyebrows.
Well, certainly.
Now,
Advocate Dhananjay over there, trying to say that there was some backroom managing that was at play over here as well. Sir, I wouldn't use the word idiot so loosely because you never know. I don't want to work Mr. Purnesh Modi and have a criminal defamation case on myself as well.
Hold on, no.
I mean,
one second.
Right.
I didn't call Mr. Purnesh Modi as an idiot. I said he basically is talking about complete idiots in whose eyes he's been defamed. Now, the standard for defamation is that you will have to take the eyes and the mind of a reasonable person, not a complete idiot. And what Mr. Purnesh Modi has done is to bring to the court the conspectors of idiots who alone would think Mr. Purnesh Modi has been defamed by what Mr. Rahul Gandhi says. By the way, I've been commenting publicly for the last 25, 30 years, and I practice on the side of constitution and defamation. I'm always careful with my choice of words, so please don't worry or please don't be bothered about that. So I want to tell you again that in defamation law, the court starts with what would be the view of a reasonable and a right-thinking person.